Hello there. My name is Ted Letherer. I'm on the selection committee for the Indianapolis LGBT Film Festival, and I'm here today talking to a filmmaker and author, Nancy Beverly. Hello, Nancy.
Hey, hi Ted. Great to meet you.
Yeah. Great to talk to you today. So, a couple of years ago, you actually showed a film, Shelby's Vacation, at our film festival. And you've recently written a book that um, uh, um, is about that film, but it tells like a little bit bigger story. So, can you tell us what the book's about? I can't wait to read it, but can you tell us kind of briefly what it's about without spoiling anything?
Sure, absolutely. So Shelby goes on this vacation because she has had a crush on her boss, Marion. And that's Shelby's problem. She's always fantasizing about the future. And she's got to let go of that. So she goes on this vacation. What happens? She ends up at a mountain resort. She gets lost. She ends up in the mountains and she meets Carol, who's running the mountain resort. And of course, she gets a crush on her. So Shelby's problem is she's always fantasizing about the future. Carol, on the other hand, is stuck in the past. She's got this storybook that she writes stories in. It's called Conjurings and Wanderings.
Mhm.
And she started it when she was in grad school or college. And she's creating these fantasies, but they're stuck in the past. And she's holding on to that. And the two of them need to learn how to live in the present. If you want to create a relationship and have love, it's got to be in the present. Can't keep fantasizing about the future and fantasizing about the past.
Fantastic, and again, that is a great lesson that we all need to keep reminding ourselves. All right.
Right, right.
So there's a lot of um, uh, uh, focus on kind of fantasy and kind of building your old world. There is a very there's a queerness to that as well, right? So we mostly for our own survival, we had to imagine a world that we could live in or that we made sense in, right? But then, like a lot of things, it kind of cuts both ways, doesn't it? And so we this being able to fantasize for a world so we can survive, and then we can also take it to the point where we're kind of ignoring reality or ignoring the present. I don't know if you may speak on that, or if you agree with that, or maybe you disagree with that.
No, in fact, I'm so glad you brought that up. You're the first person who's interviewed me who's brought that up. When I was a kid growing up, and I grew up in the 60s and 70s, there was no gay culture. And certainly not if you're in Indiana. I didn't
Mhm.
live in New York. I wasn't part of the Stonewall gay riots. I did hear about them, but I had no resources. And so I found a few books here and there. And then you start to kind of concoct a world in your head because there's no reality here that you can identify with. So, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. So you have roots in the Midwest. Obviously, we're the Indianapolis LGBT Film Festival, so we're really interested on that. Can you maybe just talk about your Midwest roots and maybe where you're currently living and what you're working on besides writing?
absolutely. So as I was saying to Ted earlier, I went to Flackville 100 and I went to 108 Junior High and Pike High School. So I was born and raised in Indianapolis. I got started in the outdoors when I was a kid. I joined the Girl Scouts and we went on some hikes, a little bit of camping, and my parents would go to like McCormick's Creek State Park or Turkey Run State Park.
Yes, beautiful places,
Yeah.
beautiful places.
Yeah, and so, they'd have a picnic lunch and I'd be off on the trails hiking. And then I moved to Kentucky. I got a job at Actors Theater of Louisville when I was done with University of Evansville and Indiana University. And in Kentucky, I found even more hiking because there's a lot of hills in Kentucky.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
It's
And Red
beautiful.
River Gorge is there, and yeah, lots of beautiful places. Daniel
Lots of
Boone
beautiful.
State Park. Yeah.
Yeah, Natural Bridge State Park.
Yeah.
Um, And then I moved out to LA in 1987 and fell in love with the mountains. Oh my gosh, we have real mountains out here, not just hills. And I've been a leader with the Sierra Club since the early 2000s. So and I've led at least 350 hikes. I think it's more now. But yeah, I love hiking.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And this takes place in the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Mhm.
And if it's appropriate, I don't know. If you hit that I'm able to share my screen, I can share some
Oh, yeah,
photos
please
with
do. Yeah.
you. Now,
Okay.
can you see Shelby's Vacation
I
there?
can, yeah.
Yes, it worked.
Woo!
All right, and now you can see the cover much better.
Yeah.
I have a
It's
couple
so
of
nice when technology actually works.
yes, I have a couple of great reviews. One's from Elizabeth Sims, who wrote the Lily and Bird crime series. I've been a fan of that for years. And then one from my great friend Diane. And here's some links to where you can get the book.
Oh, nice.
But to the point of the novel, Shelby's driving up Highway 395 to go on a vacation, and she's passing along this great scenery. Over here on the right, that's Mount Whitney, which I have climbed many years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. My gosh, it's breathtaking.
Yeah, and I love photography. I've been doing that since I was a little kid too. I got my dad's camera out of the closet and began taking my own 35 millimeter pictures.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Wow.
yeah, and then over here on the left is a Jeffrey pine, my favorite
Okay.
tree. It smells like butterscotch.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah, and that's in the
Oh,
novel.
fantastic.
And then there's a time or two where Shelby's trying to cross a creek, and so I threw in, a photo of a raging creek up in the Sierra Nevada, and just some more beautiful pictures of the
Yeah.
Sierra Nevada. Here we have some, I think these are limber pines on the left. And then on the right, just snow-covered trees. And Shelby gets caught in a snowstorm. Shelby and Carol get caught in a snowstorm. And they're going to have to go rescue Shelby's car, which almost fell over the edge.
Mm.
So I put in some snow pictures there. But then springtime comes again. And so we've got some blooming dogwood and we've got some bog shooting stars on the right.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway,
Yeah, dogwood and shooting stars are also in Indiana, aren't they? Which is interesting. Maybe not the same species, but yeah,
yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
So
Yeah, and I know just you've done a great job kind of capturing nature here. I'm not as good a photographer, but I know as beautiful as these pictures are, that being there is just even more because this is it's all it's just 360 all around you, and you can smell and you can
yeah,
get the breeze and all that. So yeah, those are beautiful.
yeah.
I really need to go out there.
I
The
included this picture over here on the right. Shelby does not hike in Yosemite, but Yosemite is in the Sierra Nevada, and so that's I think that's Vernal Falls there on the
okay.
right. And I've hiked Half Dome, so I
Hmm.
included that photo.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
I feel like there is, I'm interested to know if you feel similarly or not, but I feel like there is a real tradition in lesbian literature with nature, gardening, just those kind of things. It seemed to be a real uh, theme. That I mean, we talk about Mother Nature, right? So we like to think of nature as being a more feminine force or whatever.
Right, a supporting, nurturing force. Yeah,
Nurturing,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
to grow and sustain life, kind of thing.
yeah.
Hmm. Thanks so much for talking to me today, Nancy. I can't wait to read the book. I'm going to go order right now. Of course, we're going to have links so people watching this video can order the book and maybe see the movie as well. So, is there anything else that you'd like to mention or that I didn't ask that you would like to talk about?
There's just a couple things. One is the film is available on Tello Films,
Okay.
Tello,
Okay. Okay.
which is a lesbian platform.
Wonderful.
People have to pay a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to let people know that. If
Nice.
you live in the Los Angeles area, I don't know if anybody's watching for that. I did a one-person show called Sister from Another Planet,
Okay.
telling my life story,
Okay.
figuring out my identity. And I did that at the Hollywood Fringe Festival in June and had a wonderful time doing it. And I just got the dates confirmed to do it again at the Gay and Lesbian Center here in Los Angeles.
Oh,
They
nice.
have a theater affiliated with it called the Davidson Valenti Theater. So in January, where I'm going to do a couple performances there. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay. Fantastic. And what's that show about briefly?
You know, when I, again,
Or
this
is it
goes
all the title?
kind of what we were talking about earlier. You know, when you're younger in the 60s and 70s and you didn't have anybody to figure out who you were, you didn't know if you were gay, right?
Mhm.
So I'm trying to figure that out. But I also was trying to figure out, well, sometimes I didn't really feel like a woman, and sometimes I didn't really feel like a man. Much later, people came up with the term non-binary, and I can
Mhm.
identify more with that. And
Mhm.
then I
Mhm.
get into channeling classes where I'm in touch with spirit guides. So I get into that in the show. And so I'm not only connecting with what's going on here in the present, I'm connecting with my future self.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I'm covering it all.
Oh, that's wonderful. That sounds like a great show.
I had so much fun doing it. It was so
Yeah.
rewarding.
Hmm. Yeah. The is there. It is interesting, isn't it? Like if we I, as humans, I think if we don't have a name for something, like we can feel it, right? Like we know something's going on there, but we don't have we don't have the language for it. Just having the language for something is huge. Yeah. And it's, I think it also kind of relates back to just having like representation matters, right? So just kind of like having people, queer people, like in the media or represented that way. So we can kind of imagine a world if we did, you know, a lot of us didn't grow up in a queer family, so we have to kind of go find that family, and then so just be able to know there's something out there, or something that maybe makes a little bit more sense to us. So
Yeah. And the nice thing about my hiking group, it's the Gay and Lesbian Sierrans here in Los Angeles.
ah,
We've created a family.
ah,
So,
nice.
yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. Thanks for dealing with my rowdy dog in the background.
What's your dog's name?
Her name is Roma.
Roma.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah, she's a rescue. I think that I say that because subconsciously I'm like, well, she is bad behaving, but it's not my fault. I
I
think it's
love
okay
it.
for me to kind of, but of course we love her to death. Yeah, she's just very, very protective, which isn't a bad thing all the time.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It was such a pleasure to
Yeah,
talk to you. Great connecting with you.
dude, absolutely. You too.